to go ahead and thank you all for joining us for the first session for spring 2025 Caltrans Career Connection. It's been a few semesters now that we've been rolling this out, and it seems to be something that you guys like a lot. So we're going to be continuing to do that. I am joined here by a few people. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys so that way you can kind of um, see some information and we can get the ball rolling. Everybody see my screen properly? We're good to
Looking
go?
good, Russell.
Cool. All right, you guys. So once again, everybody, my name is Russell Calvin. I'm a recruitment analyst here with California Department of Transportation. Been with Caltrans for 3 years, just celebrated my 3 years actually. And I graduated from CSU Stanislaus with my degree in business administration. A random fun fact, I guess. Recently, I got into running. So I am joined by my colleague, Megan Aziz. Megan, go ahead and introduce yourself. Share a random recent fun fact.
I wasn't ready for the fun fact. I'll have to think on it really quick. But my name is Megan Aziz. I have been with Caltrans a little bit over 2 years. March was my second year anniversary. I graduated from California State University, Sacramento in 2020 with a degree in anthropology. And fun fact about me, I think I'd say I'm into conspiracy theories. Like Bigfoot is real.
All right. I will go ahead and introduce our SME in a little bit, our subject matter expert, but just so everybody is aware, today's meeting is being recorded and live streamed on YouTube. If you guys would like a copy of that, please don't feel free to email us and we can send you over the link that we have on our YouTube channel for you to be able to see it again, or you can message me on Handshake. Today, we are proud to introduce our subject matter expert, Luis Angel Lopez. He is a student assistant with our strategic communications department. So Luis is a fourth year PR or public relations major at Sac State with a passion for social media, events, and creative marketing. He currently works as a social media marketing assistant for Caltrans and holds 4 roles in marketing, events, promotions, and outreach, collaborating with brands like DoorDash, Sac State Housing, and Bar West. He's known for making things fun and playful. Luis isn't afraid to create bold, eye-catching moments that leave a lasting impression. Luis also brings creative strategy and hands-on experience to every project that he takes on. Did I forget anything, Luis?
I've experienced. I'm currently holding a lot of positions right now in marketing, and Caltrans is one of my favorites because of how big our team is, and it's been pretty good so far. I've been here since October.
All right, one random fact about you.
Random fact about me is that I'm not originally from California. I'm from Arizona.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know that. All this time for us working together, I didn't know that. I need to ask more questions. All right. So on our agenda today, you guys, we will talk a little bit about our department, who we are, what we do, and the opportunities we offer. Luis is going to give us some insight on his position, how he got started with Caltrans as a student assistant, a couple of cool projects that he's working on, and then we'll get into some details regarding the benefits of being a student assistant or a volunteer, how to qualify for either one of them, being a student assistant or a volunteer with us, guidelines for each and how to apply. And then finally, we'll finish up with a round of Q&A for everyone to take a look at. So just go over a few housekeeping rules with you guys. Just please utilize that chat feature for all of your questions and hold on to some of those questions till the end. Megan is going to be here monitoring the chat for you to respond to some of the questions that you guys might have and also to collect any data so that way we can have an organized Q&A session towards the end. And other than that, she's also going to be dropping some helpful links in the chat box. Am I leaving anything out, Megs?
I think you covered it.
Cool. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. I will play this video for us so that way you guys understand just a little bit on who we are and kind of what we do.
On a career that combines technology, innovation, and a positive impact on the environment and community? Look no further than Caltrans, the California Department of Transportation. Join us as we explore some of the state-of-the-art technologies that we are incorporating into our projects to engineer the future of transportation. Safety is our top priority. We believe that using drones is a game changer in ensuring safer roads for everyone. Surveying hazardous areas, inspecting bridges and tunnels, and assessing road conditions without putting workers at unnecessary risk is a great advantage. Our acquisition of state-of-the-art UAS unmanned aircraft system technology allows us to be in multiple places at once, access high-risk areas safely, and fly instantly from anywhere. We are one of the first departments of transportation in the nation to utilize this equipment. With over 100 trained drone pilots statewide, we are revolutionizing the way we utilize technology, allowing us to make informed decisions that lead to improved safety measures and faster response times. Piloting the use of augmented reality helps us to visualize a new roadway, structure, utility, or feature in the actual dimensional space upon which it will be built. We're work zone ready with well-equipped lighting on hard hats, ensuring the visibility of our field workers is not compromised and giving us the ability to assess work sites at all hours of the day. We aim to provide a safe and reliable transportation network that serves all people and respects the environment while honoring our values of engagement, equity, innovation, integrity, and pride. At Caltrans, your career options are limitless. We provide comprehensive job rotation programs, mentorship opportunities, and a supportive work environment that encourages personal and professional growth. Whether you're an aspiring engineer, a tech enthusiast, or a community-driven individual, Caltrans has the perfect path to start your career. Do yourself a favor. Come and join us. You would make us better.
Cool. So with that, as you guys can see, we do offer quite a bit. I just wanted to show you guys this map real quick. So since we are a state of California agency, our opportunities do cover the whole entire state of California. So working with Caltrans allows you to work from the tip top right at the Oregon border all the way down to Mexico. And that also allows you to work in the various different range of areas like mountains or Lake Tahoe, Yosemite, Redwood Forest, Big Sur is some areas that you can work with. With our hybrid situation that we're currently working in now, some of us even work from home quite a bit. So this is our district mapping. So Caltrans is split up into 12 districts. Our department starts, like I said, at the Oregon border with districts 1 and 2 right at the top. And then it goes all the way down to Mexico border with District 11, right down there where San Diego. So quick poll real quick for those of you that are looking at obviously getting a position with us. What district are you guys looking at joining? Let me know what you're seeing, Megan. I know Meg, you and I have been to quite a few districts already. I
We
think
have.
I just haven't been to like, I
Okay.
did do District 9.
I'm seeing Los Angeles, some D4s. That's our Oakland office. Yep, Sacramento's in there. That's where Russell and I are at. Oh wow. I think we are all over California. I see somebody wanting to work in New York or Minnesota, being that Caltrans is a California agency. There are other state transportation agencies in the state, though. But wow, yeah, we are really just
We're all
over.
over. So fun
Somebody's
facts.
asking what district Sacramento is in.
So Sacramento is an interesting one. We're technically so the city of Sacramento in itself is within District 3.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this little red dot. I don't know. Can you see my cursor?
Mm-hmm.
So District 3, this little red dot right on over here, or not little red dot, but this red area, that's technically where Sacramento is. But also within Sacramento, we have the headquarters office, which in itself is kind of treated like its own little district. That's where all three of us work out of. Luis works with us with a team very closely to us, and he's out of district headquarters district as well. And so Sacramento is kind of placed two different fiddles, but Sacramento is out of District 3 and headquarters. And then fun fact for everybody, Caltrans currently has roughly 373 active student assistants throughout the state. So there are quite a few student assistants that we do like to tap into throughout the state to utilize the amount of knowledge. And Luis will go into that because we definitely do pick Luis's brain quite a bit when going through things to set up. So our department's mission is to provide a safe and reliable transportation network that serves all people and respects the environment. Our vision is a brighter future for all through a world-class transportation network. And then some of our goals include leading climate action, which we have been addressing by advancing complete streets and zero emissions vehicles, plotting new materials and renewable fuels, and investigating nature-based solutions along with a multitude of other strategies. We also aim to advance equity and livability in all communities by adopting new approaches focused on collaborative community and partner engagement, measuring impacts on public health and community vibrancy, and prioritizing and investigating in historically harmed and segmented communities. So as I said earlier, I'm going to turn this over to our subject matter expert who's going to discuss his time with us. So Luis, are you ready to kind of go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So first question I have for you. When you first found out about this position, what intrigued you the most? Like what went through your mind? Talk to us about like what made you ultimately decide to apply and stuff.
So ultimately, I was going on like a LinkedIn craze during the summer because I was looking for like internship experience. And I was currently working for a nonprofit organization, and I've only previously worked for a nonprofit and positions throughout the school for marketing. And I really wanted to hold a position where I had the title social media in it because I realized the avenue of marketing that I wanted to work in was an influencer marketing. And I knew that I had to create more content that's strictly on social media. So when I was going through LinkedIn and UEI and Handshake and things like that of that matter, I was switching up keywords like social media, marketing, things like that. And then I stumbled upon Caltrans, and I didn't know what that was. To be quite frank with you, I didn't know what any of the Cals were: CalPERS, Caltrans, CalHR, none of that.
I mean,
And
not a
because
lot of people do,
yeah,
unless you have exposure to the state.
and then when I looked more research into it, I realized that, wow, they have like a huge following on LinkedIn. And I noticed that in the description of the job, it had to be management with LinkedIn, management with social media. I didn't really specify at the time. And I thought that'd be really interesting because during that time, I was really into working on LinkedIn and making my profile look really nice and stuff like that. So I applied through UEI. The process was pretty smooth. I got heard back in like 2 weeks. And when I saw the description, it perfectly matched, and I really wanted more experience in a more professional setting. So that's why I initially applied in the first place.
Okay. Yeah, I know, like I was telling you, I mean, when I went to college, honestly, I didn't know very much about any of the state of California agencies, right? Like you said, like the CalPERS, CalSTRS, Caltrans, Department of Transportation. I just didn't have a lot of experience or exposure to it. But I mean, you're not alone. There's not, there's quite a bit of people that don't know exactly what we do or the facets of where we are, let alone somebody that's looking for an internship or student assistant position like you were, so it's a little bit different. Next question I have for you is, what aspects of your job do you love the most?
Segueing into like the process of getting the job and like starting to the aspects that I love the most about it. When I initially got interviewed, I thought the people that were interviewing me were very welcoming. I was interviewed by Harriet and Laura, and I was just it seemed like a very great environment, and they seemed to have a lot of great ideas with me. They were bouncing off of me in the interview. So I initially already took the offer. And mainly the team that I have is very helpful because in my past experiences, it was either me as the intern with another supervisor on top of me, just kind of telling me or asking me what they should do or just telling me what to do. But in this case, I have a huge collaborative team where we have an editor, we have 2 other student assistants that work with me. We bounce off ideas in like big break rooms, and like we come up with ideas all the time. That's one thing I really like about it, because I feel like in future jobs and stuff like that, it's really important to know how to bounce off ideas with people, and that's what we do constantly here. I feel like I gain a lot of creative advice from my supervisors because they're very experienced with a lot of years of marketing experience and communications. And I just love making little graphics all day. I love coming up with new video ideas to do with my team. Me and my team get along very well, and it's a lot of a fun environment. So namely the atmosphere, I feel like it's really welcoming. It's very fun. No one shuts down ideas. I feel like we're constantly thinking of what to do next. And that's what my favorite part about the job.
And you know that's like you were saying. So we did another session with student assistants last semester, and this time we have you in your strategic communications. We had Ivan on another one, who he is with transportation engineer. So he's a civil engineering student assistant, or intern, as we like to say it. And we had another civil engineering student assistant before that. And biggest takeaway from a lot of them is that they didn't realize how involved they actually get to be in everything, because a lot of times they take on an internship role, and like you said, they're just like, hey, do this, go print 1,000 copies of this, go get coffee here, go do certain things, and they're not being looked at or valued in a lot of the conversations and brought to like those big table meetings where there's executives right in front of them and they get to partake in it. And a lot of them say that they didn't think that that would happen, I guess you could say. And I know I saw you in the DHR workshop that we had the other day, and that, I mean, that was probably an experience you thought you'd never see the directors and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it was a really cool experience.
All right. So the next question I have for you is, what projects are you most proud of, and or are you currently working on? Like, you can answer both questions, or you can answer one of them. What are you most proud of, or what are you currently working on?
The projects that I feel like I am most proud of is we and the team have been creating a lot of video content for Handshake, and coming up with new innovative and trendy ideas to get people more involved in Handshake, since it's more student focused. A lot of students go on Handshake to look for opportunities, and if they see other students having a good time working in office culture, like
And just so everybody knows, sorry, don't mean to cut you off. Just so everybody knows, like, I work with Luis a lot. Like, Luis and I go to him as much as I can to how those videos created. So what he's saying right now is like, he's a big help for me. For me. Go ahead.
Yeah, and even that, like even working with the talent acquisition team and the HR team, like us coming up with ways to get people to work for the state, say that there's opportunities in the state, there's ways to grow in the state. Even moving on to Handshake and making video content, you can cross both worlds, and I think that's really fun. And we just have a lot of creative freedom to make just in general fun videos. We did what it's like to be a student assistant at Caltrans, and I had me, my coworker Kiki, and Caitlin, other student comms student assistants, and we were just talking about what we do on a day-to-day basis, but in a fun, trendy way. As well as we were trying to work on a little sneak peek, a student assistant feature campaign where we reach out to student assistants to who are in any department, any avenue of Caltrans, and basically they're gonna give us content in order to them to post it, more organic content. And what I mean by organic is them on a typical day and taking a photo of what they're working on today. If they want to send in a headshot photo or just them casually at work, we can use that for marketing materials and put them on promotional stuff. And we are giving them the opportunity to freely send us content. And also it would lead to hopefully maybe a student assistant podcast, maybe having more one-on-one time with the student assistants to get to know their role and stuff like that, because there is a lot of student assistants at Caltrans in general and just throughout the state, and it'd be nice to feature them and show them like what they do on a day-to-day basis, and not just the marketing student assistants. We want to promote them on Handshake in every single department. So that's what we're currently working on, ones that I'm really proud of. But yeah, I feel like that's been so far really cool that I've been working on.
Yeah, I mean it's like working with you really helps me a lot on my end because, like, let's face it, man, I'm getting old. I'm getting older. I'm not I don't understand the lingo. I don't understand as much. So you guys definitely help me to modernize the way I talk and the way I approach certain things with the handshake platform to help out, to reach out and be relevant and be able to make an impact and help people out. And then I definitely think that student assistant feature that you guys are working on is a pretty cool one that could definitely help out a lot and kind of show the real culture of what we have going on over here versus what the image is or what people thought Caltrans was before. So last question I have for you. What parts of this position do you feel have helped prepare you for your future career?
Um, like I said, I've worked in very other avenues of marketing and stuff like that. But I think in a broader scheme of things is the professional setting and both the creative setting that I work with. I think the strategic communications team has a really nice team. I think they're full of talented individuals, a lot of creative ideas. And that's really essential when it comes to growing as a person, learning from other people's ideas, from other perspectives that you really understand. And I never really had that before. And I think that's my favorite part of what's going to prepare me for the future, because I know if I were to work for a bigger name brand company or a branded marketing company, it's going to come with a lot of employees, with a lot of responsibilities. And I feel like that is really important that you can learn from here, as well as just creating more video content. I've mainly been more leaned towards graphics and writing press releases and doing like journalism work. But here we were able to create social media video content that I can actually present on a digital portfolio that I can actually show. It's like concrete evidence that we've created, stuff like that, which is really cool. And I really am excited to show the case that in the future. And also pitching ideas. A lot of times we pitch ideas to both my boss or just in general in meetings where we how do you present an idea and how you thinking about all like the rules and regulations that come with coming with an idea, if it's going to work, the time frame, all of that we look into it and we all put it in a scheduled calendar. We all come up with new ideas that someone can take on. So I feel like that's really important when it comes to having prepare myself for a future career, is all those team collaborative and all that stuff. It's really important. And I feel like that's going to make me grow as a professional individual and give me more opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, all the work that you guys are doing, it's kind of crazy when you think about it, right? So it's like you're working out of headquarters for the fifth largest economy in the world, and Caltrans is the second largest state agency within the fifth largest economy in the world. So, like, a lot of the work that you're doing is a massive representation of the company. So it's like your position plays a very big role in all of that. So just want to thank you once again. Thank you for all your help. Is what you always do. And other than that, that's pretty much it. What I have for you so far for this one. Just go ahead and hang on with us, Luis, and then we'll see what we have in the Q&A session. All right, everyone. So the student assistant position, as we had learned about it, or what a lot of people refer to as our internships, we do have some minimum qualifications for that. So I'm going to list them right on over here. So if you are currently in school or have a year or more left, the student assistant position or student assistant program and volunteer program will be the best way to kind of get your foot in the door. For the student assistant position, it requires that the student must be hired in a position related to their field of study while completing their degree. So you must be enrolled also in a minimum of 6 semester units or 9 quarter units and maintain a 2.0 GPA. The last thing and the big important one is student must reside within the state of California. Students must be enrolled in an accredited higher education institution affiliated with UEI. And most colleges within California are already a part of UEI. So as you can see on this slide, students work roughly 1,500 hours in a year, And how that works out typically is during the work week, you can work as many or as few hours as you can. And then when breaks come up, you can work more hours. Luis, how many hours do you typically, or how many days a week do you typically work for us in office?
So I currently work 1 day in office, but it's usually a full day. Just because my schedule is kind of all over the place with my other positions and stuff. But I work every day actually, but I am remote for the rest of the days. They limit us, they cap us students, at least at my university and just the position that I have, at 24 hours a week. So then I work 8 hours in office on Tuesdays, and then I work 4 hours every single other day.
Got you. So as Luis said, like it's really flexible in terms of like when you can come in, because I believe you're capped at 30 hours per week, but then on breaks you can go up to 4, like on summer break, winter break, you can go up to 40. If you are an international student going to school here in California, you are eligible for this. You just do need to make sure you have certain documentation for that as well. So for the volunteer program now, the volunteer program provides opportunities for individuals looking to gain hands-on experience for any of our classifications. Volunteers gain the new skills and develop specialized knowledge in their field, similar to the student assistants. Participants will increase their professional network by interacting with department staff and gain a broader understanding of the state government employment. Experience gained from the Caltrans volunteer program may be considered when reviewing minimum qualifications for Caltrans. For this, as it shows right here, you must be 16 years or older and provide a signed work permit from the school to take on a part of the volunteer program. U.S. citizenship is not required, but I-9 clearance is necessary to work for us or volunteer for us. Now, when applying, Megan, I know, were you able to put down the website on where they could apply for the internships in the chat box? I think you're on mute, Megs.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm putting it in right now.
Cool. And then for those, so applying for the volunteer program, or not volunteer, but the student assistant program, Megan's putting the specific website that you would have to go to. And that website, you'll be able to take a look at exactly which positions we have open. We do update it daily whenever those positions go up for hire. And then there's a different place for you to email. You would just directly email us at askrecruitment@dot.ca.gov if you do want to be a part of the volunteer program. What we do is when you sign up for the volunteer program, you just mention in your email that you want to be a volunteer and the type of work that you want to do when you're volunteering. So that way we can pair you up with somebody, one of the managers that are looking for a specific volunteer. All right. And as you can see on this one, this is the website that Megan had put up there. So how would you apply? You would create an account on calinterns.org. You'll select Caltrans in the All Job Types tab, and then you will find a job from there and apply. Biggest things that I will say when looking for the jobs on there would be to, one, pay attention to the major that they're looking for. Sometimes they do state out the certain major. Luis, when you applied, did it say it was looking for a comms major, or was it open to all?
It had a variety of different majors, but for example, like it did say communications, and the public relations major falls under the communications umbrella. So I was like, oh, that I probably still qualify for the position, and I'm here. So
cool. And then I would also say pay attention to the location of the internship, because since we are a statewide agency, you will see those student assistant positions up and down all of California. Sometimes it could be in Fresno, some can be down in LA. It's pretty broad. I will say this as well, for a lot of like people that are maybe in like let's say software engineering or like computer engineering, stuff like that. Those fall under IT for us. I know it's pretty broad. It's a pretty broad one, but it falls under IT. We use it as a general term, but that's where you would look for any of your uh, positions. Other than that, I will go ahead and open us up real quickly to a Q&A session. So before we start, just wanted to let you guys know that Megan did drop quite a bit of information inside the chat box. But other than that, everyone else can feel free to go ahead and start dropping those questions into the chat box, and Luis and I will do our best to answer whatever we can. Shoot away, Megs. Shoot away.
Yeah, so we had someone ask about if we hire from only California. And what if somebody's willing to relocate for a position? What does that mean?
Are we
For a student assistant.
for student assistant, they have to already be in California.
By time they get a job offer, is that correct?
Well, because with the student assistant position in itself, they're going to be needing to be with a university that goes through UEI.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, it's through California. The reason why we're asking through California is because the paperwork process and everything like that, and you would technically be working with the state of California agency. On top of that, you will also need to be reporting into office every so often. So that's why we would need you to be living within the state of California. You don't necessarily have to have residency, but let's say you're going to school out here. You could be from Florida and you're going to school out here at California school. You could apply because your university is within California. At least I did not know you were from Arizona either. That that one kind of gets me.
Yeah, you just said my example. I don't have a California residency, but I have I currently live in California. So technically I'm like out of state working for Caltrans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody says they currently live in New York, but if they travel home for the summer, could they have a summer student position?
You technically could. You very well technically could. It gets a little tricky because our student assistant positions don't necessarily cover just seasonals. A lot of times we treat those positions as not as full-time jobs, but as part-time jobs, as Luis was saying, right? Like throughout the whole entire school year, typically we're looking to help utilize our student assistant and help our student assistants grow as much as they can with the workforce. I would apply and ask if it's brought up within the interview process to see what the needs are of the department that you are applying to and see how comfortable they are with everything there. I can't say a definite no because each department's a little bit different since you do have residency within California technically.
Yeah. Thank you for answering that, Russell. We have a question kind of about timelines.
Okay.
Kate said, I applied for a student internship listed on the UEI, but haven't heard back since applying in mid-February. Should I still expect an update on the position?
So I'll answer this first and then I'll let Luis kind of talk about his experience once again. I know you talked about it earlier with the timelines from when you applied and process, but it the hiring process can take a little bit of time. It's just a little bit dependent. When you applied for the student assistant position, down at the bottom, like literally like the last line of the student assistant position will tell you what the final filing date is or the last day to apply. So applications typically aren't reviewed until that day has passed. And from there, it can take a couple of weeks to hear back. So let's say if that position, hypothetically speaking, did close on February 28th, candidates potentially could be hearing back pretty soon or right around now because we're about 3 weeks into March. So they could be making their final decisions on what candidates they want to interview. It is a little dependent on the hiring manager, unfortunately. Some hiring managers do move a little bit quicker than others. But for the most part, it, I would reach back out to just double check to make sure that everything was good with your application. Luis, I know you were saying it took you a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, I remember I applied for a position in the middle of the summer. I think it was June, July. It was around June, and then I didn't hear till I think late July, around that time frame. It took like a good. I would like wait a whole month at most, because I think in general, it's like you're going through getting a position through Caltrans, and they have their system, and then UE has their system, and they reach out and all this and that. So I think it takes time. And then I didn't like actually officially start working until like late September. So I think that give it some time, give it a month, and then reach out after the month. If not, you don't hear anything back.
Okay. We had somebody ask if they need to take an exam for the student assistant positions.
No, not the student assistant position.
Mhm.
Unless Luis, you know something I don't know.
So we have currently a person in our team who's a youth aide, and she had to take the exam, but my other like student assistant, we both don't have to take the exam because it's through UEI.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I think most of the student positions are through UEI in general if you're part of a university, so you wouldn't have to take the exam.
Yeah. So, with the student assistant position, keywords on that being the student assistant, you don't have to take an exam. The youth aid position that Luis was talking about, that is an actual state of California position. So since that one is a state of California position, you would be needing to take an exam or a self-assessment. Everybody has to take it. Megan and I have taken the exams. We have to take the exam if we want to get promoted up. But that's a part of the actual state hiring process versus the student assistants. Student assistants don't have to take the exam since they are technically through UEI, right, Luis? You're technically through UEI.
Yeah.
Okay, a few more questions. We're getting questions kind of about summer internship work versus like work throughout the year. I'm
Okay.
gonna point this towards Luis. How you have you worked a summer with us just yet when you're off of school?
I have not. No.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
you worked winter through winter with us, right? That little
Oh yeah,
winter break that you guys had.
for
mhm.
sure.
Were you able to change your schedule to work more hours when you had availability, or maybe cut down on hours when, exams and such were coming up?
Fully. I feel like this position has been the most flexible position I've ever had.
Okay.
Especially, I don't know if it's just because of the people I like, my higher ups who are in charge of me, but in general, they are, well, it's a student assistant program, so they have to be flexible with your school schedule in the first place. But when I wanted to work over winter break and work close to 40 hours, it was available for me. And then when I had, for example, another position I have as a student at the like college campus, working at Sac State, I had like a random meeting, and then they were able to be flexible to change my time frame of when I can come in, as long as I say with like days in advance, stuff like that. But yeah, you are able to work more if you want to, and you are able to cut it down as long as you get approval from your supervisor and stuff.
That's awesome. I'm really glad that they're able to like work with your schedule and whatnot. And then you said you're working 40 hours a week. Man, while in college, even though if it's a winter break, I would have wanted some little bit of time off. But
You know what's I talked to another student assistant, Megan, at a fair, like a job fair that we were having, and they were saying the same thing too. It's like sometimes they can only work like 2 hours during like a Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that because their schedule is just so packed, and they'll come into office for like 2 hours and log 2 hours. So
Mhm.
it's kind of just flexible. Like, you get your work in when you can, just as long as you're within the time frames, really.
And then if somebody's in their master's program, can they still apply?
Yes, you absolutely can still apply. So if you are in the master's program, all we need to see is that you are currently enrolled in those semester units, those 6 semester units, and that you have a 2.0 GPA. Now, this also means, let's say, I know a lot of people are coming up on graduation right now. If you can show that you're registered in those semester units for next semester, that qualifies you as well. Because I do know a lot of people as well that are graduating seniors and they're like, hey, well, I'm going to grad school. Would I still qualify? Yes, you can, because as long as you can showcase, hey, I've got these semester units, I've got these classes that I'm taking, you would qualify for the student assistant position still.
Awesome. Okay, good. And then one more time, let's go over the requirements for these positions.
Yeah,
And if you have to be in a California university, resident of California, and whatnot.
absolutely. So I'm going to go back a couple of slides so that way we can kind of see it, and I'll put it up here. So student assistant position, and we're looking right on over here. So you must maintain eligibility. And what we mean by maintaining eligibility is having those 6 semester units and a 2.0 GPA. You can work up to 1,500 hours in the 12-month period. The school year up to 24 hours per week, and during breaks up to 40 hours per week. Similar to what Luis was saying, during winter break, he was able to work up to 40 hours a week. Here's the big one. Must be the California, or must not necessarily be a California resident, but have California residency. Similar to Luis's situation, right? You're technically an Arizona resident, right?
Yeah, because I'm studying out of state for school, so I technically am an Arizona resident, but I prove
Mhm.
that. So I live on campus at Sacramento State, so that's like my
So,
residency that can prove that I can work the job.
yeah, so you do have an address to live in California, and then your school must be affiliated with a UEI, or University Enterprise Inc. Must be affiliated with them, and a lot of the California schools are associated with UEI. You can be an international student as long as you're going to school and have like Luis's situation, say you're living on campus or have an apartment and can show that you are going to school. You can be an international student and work for us in the student assistant position as well. And then we do have a couple of different emails that you can reach out to us. This is the main email, HQ Student Assistant Program at dot.ca.gov. That is the main student assistant email that we have. And then for other questions, you can also reach out to us at askrecruitment at dot.ca.gov. Then Megan, did you want me to go over the volunteer program as well, or no?
Nope, it's just for the volunteer program. Reach out to the Ask Recruitment inbox and just let them know you're interested, and we'll be able to assist you.
Cool. We got time for
Mhm.
about 2 more questions if you have any in there, and then we'll let everybody go.
Honestly, Russell, I think we've covered most of it with that last slide.
Cool.
Um, maybe somebody's asking how can they improve their chances of receiving a job? No, I'm going to kind of rephrase that. Luis, what did you have to do for the application process? Did you have to do a statement of qualifications? Did you have to follow specific instructions? What did it look like when you were applying?
Through UEI, it was their own application form, similar to the state where they have like limits on what you can put into the application. It was similar to that. I can't really jog my memory, but I do remember it being like a giant form of listing like kind of like everything. And you would have to like add a job summary to every single thing, things like that. One thing that I feel like will make you really stick out to secure a position, for me, just in general with communications and stuff like that, I submitted a digital portfolio, and I was told that the other applicants did not submit one, and it wasn't required of me. So
Mhm.
if you just want to like get whatever that may be, whatever avenue you're trying to apply for, if you want to stand out, For example, there was no requirement of a cover letter on the position, but if you submit a cover letter, an additional like requirement, that would be really helpful. So kind of go above and beyond for what the application asks you, because the form is just going to ask about your previous job summary, how long, and like a paragraph summary of what you did, and then just, you know, what school you go to, what's your major, things like that. So I would say do that if you want to get a bigger chance of getting that position. And it was just that form and nothing really else, actually.
Yeah, and I think that's that would be my tips for how to get the position. Really is when applying, you know, it's your time to shine, your time to kind of showcase who you are and the things that you've done and what you can bring to the table. So I think, honestly, I think when you're applying to any position, whether it be a student assistant position or a position with us, being as detailed and as descriptive as you possibly can be with your application, and just gloating, honestly, like just gloating and just being like, hey, like I've done this, like I bring these skills, and I could possibly bring these skills to your team. Like Luis did, like, you know, he's submitted a portfolio, like being able to showcase like, hey, like I do have skills that could be helpful, really will set you apart from the other candidates. Because like as Luis said himself, like other people that applied didn't submit a portfolio, and for his position in specific, submitting a portfolio probably was the smartest thing to do to showcase the skills that you had for social media. Now, not every position is going to require a portfolio, but having it at your disposal is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I would just to jog on that, even if you're like for say an engineering person and whatever, or you're applying for a position in human resources, if you I think additional links are really important. If you have a good cover letter, a good resume, it's structured very well. You're not, especially even if you added fill out the whole application form, and that is technically the resume you're submitting. Also submitting your physical resume, also submitting your physical cover letter, also um, linking your LinkedIn, as because your LinkedIn can be a quick way to show off what you've done, because you can attach photos on there. You can do all kinds of stuff to showcase yourself better. I think that's really important to securing a better position. So go above and beyond rather than just what you're asked for, because then at that point, you're just another applicant.
Cool. Was that pretty much it, Megan?
Yeah. With that being said, I am going to plug a link to our LinkedIn page. You guys
Megan is our LinkedIn liaison as well.
I am. But go on our LinkedIn. All of our videos are on Handshake, but they're also on LinkedIn if you guys want to go check out some of Luis's really, really great work.
Yep. Other than that, we just want to go ahead and thank you guys all for joining in, and we hopefully see you guys for the next one. We do have one coming up next week. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you, Luis.